Hey everybody, welcome back again. We're doing another Drugopedia video. Every couple days we're going to drop a new video on a different drug. Basically, we want to be like the encyclopedia of drugs. Today we're going to talk about Adderall. What is Adderall, how it affects people, and what it's used for. Also, we're going to talk about how dangerous it is, and if you're addicted to it, how you can treat it. So number one, Adderall. What is it? It's a prescription drug that contains a combination of amphetamine and dextroamphetamine. It's a central nervous system stimulant, which means it affects the brain and the nerves. It is most often prescribed for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is also known as ADHD. Yes, this is a drug you can get from the pharmacy. It can be written as a prescription from your doctor. Some doctors also prescribe it for narcolepsy and depression. The drug comes in two different forms. There's two different ways that it comes: immediate release tablets and extended release tablets. The 12-hour extended release form is called Adderall XR. There's also a longer extended release form called Misused, and this is meant to last 16 hours. Both of these versions are available as generic drugs in the United States. When Adderall is meant to be used for the treatment of attention disorders, many people use the drug for other reasons. Some people use it to enhance their athletic performance. Other people use it to improve their cognition, suppress appetite, fight fatigue, lose weight, and enhance memory. You know, a lot of people in college begin to use Adderall so they could study for their tests, they could focus more. And this is really where a lot of people begin to depend on Adderall, and they start to use it more frequently. Adderall has been nicknamed the study drug because so many students use it to help with their studies. This is because it can help with focus, attention, organization, and productivity. As a stimulant, it also prevents users from falling asleep. A survey that revealed up to 25% of college students use a non-medical prescription stimulant in the previous year. Here's a crazy fact. We're currently dealing with a shortage of Adderall because of Adderall abuse. You could see all on social media and other people describing how they're using a different type of Adderall now, and people who are making Adderall need to get it together. Really what's going on is you're looking at a society that is beginning to depend on substances. Some people depend on Adderall, some people depend on Xanax, some people depend on opiates for various different types of reasons. But the bottom line is people are getting used to coming to the doctor and getting something to fix their problems. Now let's talk about how Adderall affects the body. One thing I do want to share too, some people take Adderall as prescribed. It's not really a big deal for them. It's not something that they struggle to stop using or any of those type of issues. And if that's you, then that's great. But there's a lot of people who use it and it's destroying their life. They're getting addicted to it. It's hurting their relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So some people think, man, I was prescribed this by my doctor. It must be good for me, like vitamins. But you know, that's not always the case. You know, doctors will prescribe you something based off of the symptoms that you have and what you're sharing to them that you want help with. But that doesn't always mean that it's good for you. The ingredients in Adderall react with systems and chemicals in your body and in your brain. Amphetamines stimulate the central nervous system. They also increase the activity of the dopamine and norepinephrine neurotransmitters in the brain, causing the brain to produce more of these chemicals. Adderall can affect the cardiovascular and respiratory symptoms. It can make the heartbeat faster and raise your blood pressure. It can make your blood vessels constrict, causing you to feel numb in your extremities, like your arms and your legs. It can also cause you to breathe faster and deeper than usual. This is why experts do not suggest taking Adderall if you have cardiovascular disease. Adderall reacts with chemicals in the brain. There are a number of cognitive effects that it could produce. Things like alertness, wakefulness, increased concentration. Some people find that Adderall improves focus, memory, and reaction time. Stimulants can also improve endurance and reaction time and increase muscle strength. Let's talk about some short-term side effects of Adderall. With every drug, there's a risk of adverse side effects. Most people who take therapeutic doses of Adderall, the way their doctor prescribed it, the side effects are minimal. But what happens is when you begin to use Adderall, you continue to use it, your body starts to require more because it builds up a tolerance. So when people feel, man, I took the same Adderall I usually take, but it's just not doing what it used to do. I don't feel like I used to feel. You know, this is how your body starts to become dependent on the Adderall. The chances of experiencing side effects become higher. These are just a few side effects of Adderall. I'm going to list them right now. Number 1 is dry mouth. Number 2 is restlessness. You have insomnia, appetite loss, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, blurred vision, sweating, tics, anxiety, change in libido, irritability, shortness of breath, agitation, aggravation, numbness, heart palpitations. The list goes on. You could even start to notice your mood is changing. You're getting more angry than usual, or you're starting to snap on things that didn't used to make you snap. Now, I want to talk a little bit about addiction. Is Adderall addictive? The answer is yes. People who use Adderall recreationally are at a very high risk of developing an addiction. This is because when you take high doses of it on a regular basis, it overstimulates your dopamine pathway. Dopamine is what makes you feel good. It's called the feel-good chemical that activates in your brain's reward center. Adderall can alter the way dopamine transmitter works. So after extended Adderall use, you won't be able to feel that pleasure anymore without taking that drug. The body is getting, like I said, the body's going to begin to say, I need more, I need more. And what used to do it for you isn't going to do it no more. High doses of Adderall can cause your body to produce high level of a protein in your body. This protein is called the master switch for addiction. Once it's activated, it can increase the severity of your addiction behavior, such as seeking out more drugs. It also should be noted that people who take therapeutic doses of Adderall to treat attention disorders may not develop addictions. This is because therapeutic doses don't throw dopamine transmitter into overdrive. Many people with ADHD take Adderall for their entire life and they don't experience any type of addiction. In fact, in a recent study, it showed that Adderall effects long-term is a reduced risk of alcoholism and substance abuse disorders. Again, this is for people who don't struggle with addiction. But on the addiction scale, we're going to give Adderall an 8 out of 10. Every time we do these videos, we go on a scale from 1 to 10 with addiction, and we're going to give Adderall an 8 because it's very similar to meth. A lot of people who struggle with Adderall addiction end up not being able to get prescription fast enough to keep up with that addiction, or their doctor might decide to take them off of Adderall because they're showing signs of addictive behavior. When this happens, people turn to the streets and they start looking for a similar effect. This is when people turn to meth.